Hi, in this tutorial we're going to be talking about the use of the overview page for a course within the It's Learning platform. As you can see, I've entered into an instructional course. Specifically, this course is designed for 5th grade science students. As you can see, this teacher is utilizing the course overview page as a way in which to provide easy access for students of resources that they will be using each day in class. I'm going to display how you can set up a bulletin for resources for your students. What I'm going to do is, the first thing that I'm going to do is maybe I'm going to pose a question to my students. And what I can do is I can allow my students to post comments to where they could answer the questions by providing feedback, maybe like a drill question or initial warm-up. Maybe they could answer in groups. I can also disable comments, so if I didn't want them to comment on our initial question for the day, then I could disable the comments. I also have the ability to schedule bulletins. With scheduling of bulletins, I can select the date and time for which the bulletin will display for students. Now, I also have the ability to take bulletins down at any point in time. So even if I set a date and then I want to remove it, I can always do that. So this is nice for teachers that might want to plan in advance for lessons for a week, that they're going to provide those resources to automatically appear on the course overview page within the bulletin section for your students. So I've posted this question and then I'm going to add the bulletin, and as you can see, it instantly comes up and my students have the ability to comment. I can take away or I can edit, disable comments by using this little drop down. So I'm going to delete that. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to add another overview or another bulletin, just using a different resource. So this time what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull a thing link, and I just want to share this with my students as a resource that they're going to be using for today. So I'm going to grab my link, my sharing link, and then I'm going to come over into It's Learning, and I'm going to paste that link there, and notice that it auto generates a nice preview of the thing link for my students. And so once I say add bulletin, it will place this as a clickable link for my students, and when they select this link, it will then open my thing link in full view for them. I'll do another one so that you can see. So I'll post this one and then I'll delete it. Something else that we can use is maybe a YouTube video if you want your students to see that. Now remember, YouTube is only going to be accessible for our secondary students. So for our elementary teachers, this probably isn't a tool that you would use on your bulletin. But for our secondary teachers, I would go to share and I can copy this share link. And I can do the same thing that I just did with my thing link and post it there. My students could watch that video. If I allow for them to comment, then maybe they could post their initial reactions about the video, or maybe some think about questions that they have that they want to dig into a little bit deeper as they go throughout the lesson. So if I add that bulletin, you can see how that comes through. I'm going to delete that. And then the last one is just maybe I want to link my students to a resource for learning. So here is something from PBS about decomposers, and I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to copy that link and I'm going to paste it here. And when I paste it there, again, it's going to bring up a clickable link as a preview for the resource that my students will be accessing for the lesson. So I can actually just get rid of that because I'm not going to post the bulletin. So as you can see, you can also add in resources from your It's Learning course. So if you want the students to just stay within the confines of It's Learning, we also have the ability to add a resource. And this will allow us to navigate into the resources of the course. And And the folders themselves aren't clickable, but if I use this little drop down caret over here, notice then I get all of my resources that are part of that folder. So maybe, I want my students to have quick, easy access to this decomposers page. I'm going to select that and I'm going to say add, and now this becomes a clickable link that it will direct my students right to that It's Learning page. So any of my resources that I have within my course, I can put there so that my students, as soon as they land in the course, can access those resources without having to go through the resources folder or without even the necessity of specifying dates within the plans. Also, the last thing that I want to highlight here is this course follow-up task. Now, since I'm a teacher within this course, what I'm seeing is that 68 of my students have completed their experience to test today. And so if I clicked this, what it would show me would be my student responses, to where then I can go in and I can begin officially providing grades and feedback for my students. On the student side of things, however, this is what their page looks like. So here I'm logged in as a student, and you can see this is what the student side of the bulletins looks like. So it's very similar to what the teacher sees. They just don't see the ability to add a bulletin. But over here in my tasks pane, I have my active tasks. So these are the things that are activated for me to be able to complete as an assignment or as a test. And then I also can go into my completed tasks. So this would be things that I've already done that maybe my teacher has provided feedback for. As you can see here, I don't have anything completed for this course as of yet. I have 2 things that my teacher is actually waiting for. And you can also see that this teacher has utilized the events pane, to where she has utilized the ability to add things to the calendar. So she's added that her students will be taking an experience to test today. And so when the students log in on their overview page, it will show the event.